Vino, you are actually muted, so I think we haven't heard you.
Oh my God. Okay. If I am not muted in another online stream, is it even a stream? All right. Let's start all over again. Good morning, everybody. We are live. I know. Again, this week it's going to be super exciting. I don't know if you have heard Oracle Snowflake Openflow Connector for Oracle went GA yesterday. What does this mean? This means super exciting demos involving Openflow Connector. Well, Oracle CDC, anybody? With the power of Cocoa. And to show that and tell us all about it, I have Jakub here, who is the staff product manager at Snowflake, who's building this, Oracle connector and doing all the great work, making our lives as data engineers very easy, one connector at a time. Jakub, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vino. Thanks for having me again.
Awesome. And I know yesterday was the day when we went GA with the, Oracle connector. Tell us more about it. What should we know? Like for someone who's never played around with Oracle CDC before. I know that's very few of us.
Absolutely. Yes. So as a reminder to everyone, Vino and I, we had a chance to give you a sneak peek into how the connector will work back in October. At that time, the connector was still in preview. Now it's fully generally available in AWS and Azure commercial clouds. And I mean, the main big idea behind it is to make your mission critical transactional data that is produced inside Oracle databases or Oracle systems instantly, or nearly instantly, right, near real time, available in Snowflake for your artificial intelligence and your advanced analytics and other AI-powered use cases, right? So in the recent era of enterprise AI, making the very rich, like a golden data set of Oracle transactional data available near real time inside Snowflake for running advanced capabilities like Cortex on top of it is critical, right? So we're super excited that we've been able to work on this, how to solve this and offer a solution that has several, I would say, very strong benefits that I think distinguish this particular solution. Number one, it's a fully agentless architecture, which means that Snowflake Openflow can connect directly to your Oracle database without requiring you to install, configure, or set up anything additional on your environment. That's number one, right? Number two is that it has been delivered in collaboration with actually Oracle. I mean, Snowflake and Oracle have an official partnership contract, and therefore the way we're connecting directly from Snowflake Openflow to Oracle is based on a licensed and fully supported Oracle XStream API technology. And thanks to this, if you're using this integration, you can, if you require support or help, you raise a support case to Snowflake. But we, as an official partner, have the right to involve Oracle if this is needed, right? And things that I already touched a few times, right? This is a true change data capture replication, which means that we are in a near real-time fashion. And when I'm saying near real-time, it's like within seconds up to 2 minutes. Any change at the source, like insert, update, or delete, or a change of a data schema, is right away synchronized and replicated to Snowflake, so that it's kind of available nearly instantly for your AI applications.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. I know as data engineers, CDC is probably one of the very sort of foundational use case all of us are dealing with, right? Like bringing in data or connecting to data in different sources. And with Oracle being Oracle, it's never been easy like this before. And I am super excited to see the demo that you have to show us and everybody to get started.
Absolutely. So I'm happy to. Let me click share my screen, and we can start it in a moment. Share my entire screen, this window, and share.
Mm-hmm.
So soon it should be coming up. Uh, the last time when I was in this show back in October, I was showing you how I was kind of installing, configuring the connector using the user interface of Openflow, and I was kind of demonstrating you in detail how we're adding schemas or tables into the replication, and the connector is doing an initial snapshot upload of the data, but then is already immediately in parallel turning on monitoring of the change data capture stream from XStream API, and is replicating the CDC into Snowflake. Um, and the way I was presenting this was that obviously it did require you to using the UI, do manual steps, configuration steps, which was already relatively easy, I believe. But now we are able to take it to the next level, right? Thanks to Cortex Code, which I'm running at the right side of the screen. Let me actually start it. I'm able actually, using a conversational generative AI to do all these steps much faster and much simpler. Uh, there are even additional benefits that haven't been possible before, which I'm actually mostly excited about. Things like I can actually ask Coco to directly connect to the source database and check whether the configuration in Oracle is correct. Uh, and then in the end, I can, even ask it to, it will actually, you will see it in the demo, it will run it by itself to do verification steps to kind of make sure that everything is correctly set up, troubleshoot any potential errors if they appear, and validate and confirm that the data is replicating and is ingesting as you expected. Um, so let me start by kind of setting the background, right? So what I have in my OpenFlow instance, I have several runtimes. One of them, mostly most of them are outdated, but one of them is a freshly updated latest version Oracle Coco demo runtime, which is currently empty. So this runtime, right? You can see that the canvas is empty. If I go to parameter context, there's nothing. Not a single parameter or parameter context has been configured. It's a truly freshly installed and upgraded runtime. Also inside the Snowflake account, I can show you that I have actually pre-created an Oracle CDC demo target database, but again, it is empty in a way that it has the standard information and public schemas, but there is no transactional data replicated from Oracle in here at the moment. And I can also show you quickly that I have an Oracle database. It's running in AWS in a container, and it has a very simple traditional, I would say, data schema where you have a procurement schema and then set of tables like deliveries, products, suppliers, etc. Right? So you can see a quick glimpse of how many rows are in every table, just to show you that it's there, it exists. So that is what we would love to replicate to Snowflake. So let me quickly jump into Coco, come back here so that you can see how things are actually happening live in the runtime. And what I'd like Coco to do is, help me install an Oracle connector in my Oracle Coco demo runtime in OpenFlow. Right, so I'm giving a clear prompt. Uh, Follow the OpenFlow and and connector Oracle skills. And let's get started. So you see that I specifically referenced particular skills that Coco is going to use, right? So our team has delivered additional new skills to make sure that Coco knows exactly how to operate with not just OpenFlow in general as a platform, but also specifically with this connector, making sure that all the nuances related to its configuration, etc., including the configuration on the Oracle side, are properly captured, and it can actually guide you through the entire process. So what it's doing now is kind of bringing up all the context that it needs. So it has a number of bundled OpenFlow skills, including the connector Oracle skill to know to plan its work. Um, it actually figured out that okay, there is a cache file that tells it how to connect to this particular Oracle Coco demo runtime. It
But
found
we
that the
are,
runtime is in there.
sorry, I
Yes,
don't think we're able to see your screen. Can
was
you
my
share
screen
us? Yeah,
okay? Sorry,
we saw you prompt, but then after that we couldn't.
let me share again. Awesome.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. No
Yes.
worries.
So you saw my prompt. I started it, and Coco is now going through planning, right? So
Mm-hmm.
things it did. It found the runtime,
Mm-hmm.
so it knows where it will be actually installing the connector. It established a session using NiPi API in order to be able to operate on my behalf using my credentials and my role in that OpenFlow runtime. And
Mm-hmm.
now it starts the process of installing the connector. So the first question it asks me is, which Oracle connector license type we want to deploy, right? If you recall from our conversation and demo back in October, since we are using XStream API, right? So let me quickly show you this architectural diagram, right? Since the way OpenFlow connects to Oracle database directly and reads change data capture is from an XStream API outbound server, right? XStream API, in order for you to use it, you actually require a valid license. And there are two license options. One is if you already have a Golden Gate license for replicating data from this database to other systems, it means that you can actually reuse this license for this connector. In that case, you would choose the independent or bring your own license option. In case you don't have a Golden Gate license, Snowflake actually can provide you a specific XStream license for this use case, which we call an embedded license connector variant, right? So in this case, for the purpose of the demo, I will um, I will use the independent license. If you're still unclear what it means, right, you can, for example, go down here and basically ask Coco for clarification, right? It's like, tell me what are the differences between the two licenses, and it will very clearly explain what it does. But for the sake of time, I will just move on and click that I'm using an independent one. I'm bringing my own license and move on. It now asks me whether the org admin has already accepted the Oracle connector terms in Snowsight in the admin and terms panel. Right, so this connector, since it requires, it has a licensing aspect, it also has dedicated terms of use. So make sure that your org admin accepts them first, because without this, the connector wouldn't even be available in OpenFlow. So yes, I have already accepted this with an org admin role, so I'm clicking yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing it asks me at this stage is, have you actually configured XStream inside Oracle? Things like archive log mode, XStream, whether the XStream is actually enabled, whether supplemental logging is enabled. So there is a few things that you need to run inside Oracle to get it done. Let's assume I haven't done it, so I'm saying not started, and we'll see what Coco will do with this information. Right? So now Coco got several inputs. Um, and it will plan its work accordingly and see we'll see what it will actually ask us further.
Mm-hmm. While Coco is planning, Jakub, we have some questions already from the live audience. I thought you can help
Mhm.
us with some of these. Are you using prompt template skills while using Coco?
Prompt templates skills. I'm not sure I fully understand the question.
I think you can talk about the OpenFlow skill and the Oracle connector skill that you're using, though.
Yeah, so generally, right, you can speak to Coco in natural language without any specific templates, right? So you don't have to use a certain specific syntax when you're actually asking Coco to do something. But obviously, the more clear your prompt is, the more keywords you use, it is easier for Coco to determine what is the appropriate skill to be used for this particular task that you're asking it to do, right? So in this case, as you saw, I was very clearly saying, I want to use this connector, and I gave the full name. I want you to install it in that runtime, and gave it full name. And also, I actually specifically said, use these particular skills. If I didn't tell it to use the OpenFlow or connector Oracle skills, it would probably, and in most cases it does, it would figure out what skill to use. But I just want to be 100% confident that it will use the skill. Now, what are skills, right? Skills are basically a set of instructions and particular workflows and verification tests and sample queries that tell Coco how to exactly execute a particular task, so that it doesn't waste time on figuring it out by itself, or it doesn't kind of get into the loops of errors and iterating and trying. It will probably eventually solve it by itself, but you just want it to do, very quickly, especially in this particular case with an Oracle connector, when you typically have two personas, right? You have a data engineer in Snowflake who is setting up this integration in OpenFlow, but you also have an Oracle DBA, right, who is responsible for configuring XStream in the Oracle database, right? So they have two different personas interacting with each other, and here we wanted to make sure that the skill has that collaboration and this data information exchange very well captured and understood and explained, so that it can actually guide you how to do it exactly.
Awesome. I think we can't see your screen again. Can we go back?
Or do I need to click share again? Yes. Okay.
I think so.
All right, share screen.
And I
Share
hope
screen.
Coco had planned it.
Yes, Coco is now asking me where is the database. So I'm basically saying this is my. So it is actually some. Can you
It
see
went
it?
away.
It keeps dropping. Oh, I apologize for that. I don't know
No,
why
no,
it
no
keeps
worries.
dropping.
This is how we know this is live, Jakob. Technical
Yes, let's
issues.
let's let's enjoy that it's live. It's genuine, right? It has not been scripted. Coco is unpredictable. So so let's have fun of making this live. Yeah, so Coco here asked me, where is Oracle database running on? What is the platform? So it gave me some choices. In fact, none of these choices is correct. So I'm choosing something else, and I will tell it that it is a 23 AI free image running in a container on an EC2. It now asks me what is the architecture, right? Oracle database typically runs either as a single tenant architecture, where you just connect to a single database. That's pretty simple, but it also, but more and more popular flavor is that it actually is configured as a multi-tenant, which means that you have one container database with multiple pluggable databases. This is actually the case for me, so I'm choosing that one. And do you have the Oracle database connection details ready? Hostname port? Yes, I have them. Submit. It is now planning the next steps. In the meantime, I can quickly come back to this screen and recall, right? How is this integration architected high level, right? So inside Oracle, whenever a change like insert, update, or delete is happening in the source table, it's captured as a transactional log in the so-called redo logs. And then there is a background process that is mining those redo logs and making them available to us as so-called logical change records, LCRs. And they are actually exposed to us through this API, right? XStream API endpoint is where our application, in this case OpenFlow, can connect and consume those logical change records. OpenFlow pulls them and then immediately pushes them to Snowflake using Snowpipe streaming. That's how we reach this kind of several second latency for getting a change event being available in your Snowflake account in so-called journal table. And then once it lands in the journal table, every minute we're making a SQL merge operation where from the journal table, we're taking the latest incremental changes and we're merging them to your target tables. So in total, it can take up to 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So Coco figured out what to do with this particular flavor of the database. And now it actually, I need the specific connection details. Please provide, right? So this is probably the moment where I can actually give it all the details it needs. So here you can see that I have kind of URLs to the container database, to the pluggable database, the Oracle user that I want to use, also the XStream outbound server name. Um, so let me, but I also have this stored in a local secret. So let me give it to it. Let me give for now only this information, and we'll see how it progresses.
Awesome. While Coco is running, we have a couple more questions. I think one
Mhm.
from Abdullah on YouTube. The CDC connectors don't support to ingest data into the choice of schema. Is there a way we could have our own choice of schema when we are replicating this?
This feature, I think, is already available for sure for this connector. It's available, so you can now actually tell what is the schema name or the target schema you want the data to be replicated to. Yes, so this is a recent upgrade that we
Oh,
have rolled out. I'm now from top of my hand, I don't recall whether all our CDC connectors, Postgres, MySQL, and SQL Server already got it. But for sure, when we
Oracle.
launched GA Oracle, it does have it.
Awesome. And I think one more regarding this similar one, I think from Kiran Rao. Oracle CDC pipeline using Openflow to Snowflake. How do you guarantee transactional consistency when multiple dependent tables are updated within the same transaction?
Yes, so that this is delivered by two elements, right? So every logical change record is capturing the entire transaction, and then inside inside the transaction, all the changes also have their SCN, system change number, right? So number one, Xstream API is ensuring that the change events that we are processing are ordered according to the SCN. That's number one. Number two, again, our connector is also built in a way that it actually fully respects the sequence change number. And therefore, since we're very focused on making sure the right sequence of changes, that there's no risk of inconsistencies.
Got it. Okay. This is great. Now, I guess for the audience watching, if you have any other questions, drop it in the comments, and Jakub here will help you with all the questions you would have. And let's see what Coco is up to now.
Coco keeps asking me for additional inputs, so I'll just
That's good, but we can't see it yet, though. The screenshot went away.
I apologize, the audience,
No,
for
no,
this
no worries.
small inconvenience. So Coco started filling in the parameters to understand, right, what is the source URL of Oracle database, what is the user to connect, what is the Xstream server, and also the destination details, which means the Snowflake account identifier, what's the strategy to authenticate, what's the role, what's the warehouse, what's the destination database. So it keeps asking me for these inputs because these are the inputs that essentially you would typically configure here in the parameter context manually inside the runtime, right?
Mhm.
Um, it will do it automatically. Now, in the meantime, it actually is giving me instructions. What commands I should run inside Oracle in order to enable Xstream and configure it correctly according to the specifications that I provided before, right? So here you can basically copy these commands and either run them yourself if you have DBA access, or share it with your Oracle administrator to set this up. I actually have already done this, right? So here I am back to my console where I was configuring Oracle. database and the XStream outbound server. So these are all the different, this is the same set of SQL commands that Coco just asked me to run. This is the most important one, right? So this is the one where you're actually declaring and creating and starting. Okay, we just lost connection again. So I'm sharing back. Sure, okay. Here, right? So this is the command that actually creates the XStream outbound server. So you say this is, they already declared the name. I'm sorry, I don't know why this happens all the time.
No, it's okay. Please.
Sure, okay. And here I actually declared what schemas I want to be included in XStream, and what is the source pluggable container database where this should actually be parsing the logs. Right. So all this has been already done by me. Let's come back to Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you want me to copy all these SQL statements to your clipboard so you can paste them into your Oracle session, right? So, okay, very kind of it. But let
Mm-hmm.
me say that I've already run it. It's done. Verify if the extreme config is correct. Connect to the Oracle DB using Cortex secret info. So what I'm asking actually Coco right now to do is, well, why it asks me to run these commands and then verify whether the configuration in Oracle DB is done correctly. By
Mm-hmm.
why not asking Coco to do it, right? So I actually have locally stored secret where I have all my credentials to that Oracle database running in AWS EC2, and I'm actually now asking Coco, no, you do it. Connect to that Oracle database and and verify it yourself. It will probably take a little time. What is the host? Something else. So it's asking me what IP should use to connect to that database. It's different. Find it in the secret. Yes, use EC2 user. I have a key. The key is in the secret. Something else again. It's in the secret. Submit. All right. In the meantime, do we have any other difficult questions?
Yes, we do. So is there any audit table capture changes?
Is there any audit table capture changes? Yes, absolutely. So here, when we come back in here, this journal table is, I think, what you are asking for, which means that whenever there is a change, insert, update, and delete, right? It's converted into a logical change record, and we move that logical change record like a change event. We stream it inside this journal table, which means that this table is like an append only table. Every row represents a change event. So in there you know that okay, there was an event that the type was insert. This is the
Mm-hmm.
primary key of that new record. This is the payload. This is the timestamp when it occurred in the source system. This is the timestamp when it was recorded in the journal table. And this is the timestamp when it was actually matched to the target table. So you also have very interesting metadata in order for you to know, what is the exact status of every single change event. So yes, full audit log is in what we call a journal table.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And there is another question from Abdullah. Is it okay to add our audit columns to the CDC connector? Because apparently they were told not to. He wonders what is the right approach. Meaning instead of simply mirroring.
Got it. I understand what's the intent behind the question. So the way we deliver connectors is that they are a template, right? Which indeed you can further modify, right? So you can run our connector as a data flow as is out of the box, and it will probably meet 99, in most cases, probably 100% of your needs. But indeed, sometimes you want to customize it or extend it, right? So it is possible, uh, and uh, and if you do it, it means that it's no longer an official Oracle connector, right? Which means that if we deliver an upgrade to that flow, uh, we will not be. Sometimes your changes that the changes that you've done might not be compatible with that upgrade, right? Because we are not aware of your custom changes. So I think that is exactly what that is the intent behind what support told you, which is, I mean, I personally generally encourage customers and users to actually customize the flows and also create their own custom flows, because I think this is what unlocks the biggest amount of value of OpenFlow. But yes, but there are trade-offs. The trade-off is that if we deliver a newer version of a kind of a templated connector, sometimes it's difficult to upgrade your custom flow to that latest version. It will basically require most of the time some of your manual work to sync them together, right? So it's a choice: customizability over a fully packaged,
Managed.
managed, right, connector from our side.
That makes sense. I think one last question. Can we implement like type 2 SCD?
Let me just hold on a second. I'm just giving additional instruction to Coco
Okay.
and with the connector installation. Okay, yeah. So the question is, can we implement SCD type 2? Journal table is close, right? So it's not a perfect implementation of slowly changing dimensions type 2. It's relatively close. If you want to have like a 100% by the book SCT type 2, you would probably need to implement um, additional data capturing there.
Awesome. There are a few more questions. Do we have anything from Coco before we get to them?
Coco is currently, yes. Let me actually show it because it's getting interesting. So share screen back, entire screen. Sure. So Coco is now provisioning a connector to the canvas, right? So it's at step 4, deploy the connectors. It checked that the canvas was empty, and tada, magic happened. Yeah, I hope you just saw it. The connector appeared on the canvas, right? So actually, Coco using NiPy was able to provision it. And now, once the flow is there, it will actually start it will actually start entering the parameters. Let me see if the parameters are already there. No. Yes. There you go. See, it created the necessary parameter context, and it will gradually start filling them in. So let's see if it already entered the ones for the source. Yes, right. So not all of them are there yet, but it started filling up the parameters. So something that previously you would be doing, right, manually. So typing in or pasting the different parameters like URL of the source database, credentials, replication strategy, and things like that. Now Coco is doing that automatically. So yes, it will take a little time for it because as soon as it does it, it will probably start running different verifications, whether the flow is configured correctly, whether all processors and controller services are properly set up. It might actually do a dry run. So we will see that probably soon on the screen. But in the meantime, if there is another question, happy to take it.
Awesome. Yeah. So for a very large OLTP table, do we have an option to perform initial load and then start the replication from an SCN?
So by default, the connector works in a way that it starts the initial snapshot and CDC in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the moment you complete the upload, especially for this very large OLTP template, a table, the moment the snapshot load is completed, you want to make sure that you have the latest fresh data. So because during the time of uploading the table, changes were happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so that is why we collect the changes, and the moment snapshot is fully uploaded, we then merge the changes as well, and and therefore it's fully up to date. It's a fresh table.
Got
Now, the one thing that I want to mention is we have invested in making sure that a snapshot upload of very large OLTP tables is very fast. So we have actually implemented um, a multi-threaded snapshot upload, which means that if the table is really, really large, um, the connector will actually slice it into pieces and then start uploading these chunks in parallel, in several threads in parallel. Uh, that has actually given a significant improvement over the original capability of our CDC connectors. And one of our customers, which I think I can actually mention here, so one of customers who has offered tremendous help in testing this connector early in the preview was Yes Energy, and that customer, that team, actually was very vocal about us making this snapshot load um, much faster, and ultimately the improvement that we delivered
Mm-hmm.
was 40 times, 40 times faster than originally. So initially, a very large LTP table took them uh, 10 days to upload. After our improvements and after the enhancement of the connector, it took
Mm-hmm.
them less than 6 hours, right? So 40 times, 40x improvement. I think it's really state of the art at the moment. And you can actually read about this use case in our announcement blog. So yesterday we have published on Snowflake blog, on snowflake.com/blog, a formal article about what is the latest capability of this connector, including Coco, but also that fantastic customer story about uploading very large OLTP tables. So thank you for the question.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Also 40x. It's insane.
It's insane. I know. Uh,
Right? And it looks like there is more of us who also have a very similar problem we're working with. So it's helpful to know that. All right, Coco is waiting on us.
uh, the Oracle user password is stored in the local Cortex Code secret.
What do you mean? You're not going to type your password in front of all of us?
Sorry, but I can assure you it is a very strong password. Almost literally. Mm,
Oh, I see. Okay, we have two more questions while Cortex is working on it. Continuous CDC ingestion from Oracle into Snowflake can generate frequent micro batch loads. How do you design your warehouse and ingestion patterns to minimize compute?
oh wow, I'm not sure if I'm the best expert on this particular topic. I must admit. Uh,
I see.
yeah,
We can leave
yeah.
it to, we can get to that later. It's perfectly okay. I know this is sort of getting under the hood of how it is implemented or like the
Cortex
design
6
of
X
this.
store is empty. Interesting.
Type password now.
I need to chat with Coco because for some reason it refuses to use my locally stored um, secret where I have passwords for the OpenFlow user in Oracle.
Hmm.
Well, this is the beauty of running this live. Let me actually share my screen so that you can actually watch it.
Mhm.
I think what we can actually show here is the power of Cortex being able to debug and look for solutions where things get tricky, right? I mean, I think that's the big power of this generative AI agent. Um, so check all my locally stored Coco secrets and list them here without exposing them. I might have made a mistake and maybe I dropped it previously, so I apologize. So it's what we'll see in a moment.
Mhm.
If not, then I will expose my password and then also immediately change it after the session. The Cortex Code secret store is empty, so I must have deleted it by mistake.
Mhm.
Give me a second. I
Or you
will
can stop screen share and do
I
your
will
thing.
stop screen share.
Yeah.
Exactly. Uh-huh. Yes, there it is. Let me give it to Coco.
Mhm.
Okay, I can share back my screen.
Mhm.
Oracle password configured. All parameters are now set. Let me mark the configure step done and move to verifying and enabling controllers. So
Mhm.
what it means is that Openflow has essentially, then there you go. And my password was exposed for a moment, so I'll definitely need to change it. The It actually created all the necessary parameters and configured them, even the sensitive values, right? So, for example, if I see in the destination, you see that the strategy for authenticating to my Snowflake account was through a key pair. So it was actually able to find the necessary key file and upload it.
Mhm.
Uh, and now what it is going to be doing is it will uh, do like a dry run of this connector. It will start enabling the different processors and the different controller services and checking whether they're um, reporting any configurational errors.
Mhm.
If everything will be passed, like for example here, controller services, right? Uh, when everything will be passed, it will then enable the flow. It will start the data ingestion, and then it will try to verify whether the ingestion was successful as well.
Mhm.
Let's see. Uh,
Awesome. Meanwhile, is this a BYOC or an SPCS runtime?
this is a BYOC. It is running inside AWS. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm running both OpenFlow and the Oracle database in the same virtual private cloud in AWS. That
Got.
streamlines the network setup, and I think it's also a recommended pattern. Uh, um, especially if we're dealing with very highly sensitive data.
Got it. And I think Abdullah also has another question. Can you please let us know when we can have native OpenFlow alerts? Because currently they're doing it using event tables, obviously. Thank you.
Uh, Excellent question. Currently, still our recommendation, the right pattern is to establish native Snowflake alerts on top
Mhm,
of the OpenFlow telemetry data that is inside the event table. Now, I think it's too early for me to comment what exactly we will deliver in terms of our observability improvement roadmap.
mhm,
Let me just say that we're currently focusing very hard on making sure that all telemetry is available, and the feedback that we're getting from our customers that it's actually already already a lot. Like it might actually feel a little bit overwhelming at times. How much telemetry is there in the event table related to OpenFlow? Because we're
mhm,
sending there logs, traces, metrics, and therefore our current focus is on making it easier for you to digest it through
mhm,
a dedicated user interface. So the current focus is, and we have released in preview an initial version. Soon there is another release coming with major upgrades where you will actually have in OpenFlow in Snowsight um, an observability page where you can see how healthy are your runtimes, how healthy are your flows, particular connectors, and even for CDC connectors, you can double click on a particular, for example, Oracle connector, and you will be able to see CDC related metrics like throughput, end-to-end latency. So those KPIs that are typically the things that you're looking at when you're monitoring CDC, right? Down to the level of a table. So this is the current set of improvements that is, I think, going to be released relatively soon. Um, Whether alerts are going to become part of the native OpenFlow UI experience, I think that is yet to be determined. But thank you for that feedback.
mhm. Awesome. I know we are a few minutes over. We want to see if Coco was able to verify it, enable it, and we see the data in Snowflake.
Yes, I know. Let me share my screen again. So,
Mhm,
Coco says, everything looks clean. 8 out of 8 controllers enabled. No, nothing is invalid, no bulletin errors. 79 processors are stopped, that they are ready to start.
mhm,
So now Coco is moving to verifying processors and extreme connectivity. So it's
mhm,
still, we wanted to make sure that um, it helps you avoid any unnecessary hiccups. And typically, difficulties in this type of integrations are between, truly getting the connection to work together, right? Because you have some configuration on the Snowflake side and some configuration on the Oracle side, and they need to be fully compatible to make sure, right, that the data flows um, seamlessly. And especially in this situation, when I mentioned that typically two different actors are involved, right? A data
mhm,
engineer from Snowflake and Oracle DBA. Uh, you want to make sure you run all these verifications and very clearly specify if anything is misconfigured. Like for example, maybe on the Oracle side, the capture process hasn't been fully enabled. So I think even though your impression might be, wow, it's taking so long, um, believe me, it is a well investment of your time, because if you were to do it by yourself, you would probably spend a lot more time trying to figure out why things are not correctly connected. What makes it stand out is that this connector has a built-in mechanism to actually query the system tables in Oracle to verify whether the Extreme Advanced server has been created and enabled, whether the capture process is enabled and healthy, whether the log miner process is enabled and healthy, and more, right? So it actually does check a lot of these things for you automatically without you having to ask your Oracle DBA to check it on their end, right? So I think it actually streamlines the collaboration, and it actually saves your time. And there you go. See, it started the flow. The flow is fully green. It's running,
mhm.
and it summarized the work, right? So it's running. uh, flow files, how much data was received, how much data was written, the summary. These are all the parameters. It summarized the entire configuration that it did. The corrector is now actively capturing changes. Okay, so let's ask, so verify if the initial snapshot load was successful. And in the meantime, we can actually check it by ourselves by going in here. Let's refresh the screen. So you can see that both schemas, Eurostat and procurement, have been replicated the way I asked it to do. If we go to the procurement schema, all the tables are in there, including the journal tables, so the audit log that you asked about. So it is there. Now let's wait for the let's wait for Coco to give us the proof that it's actually working as intended and the data was fully replicated.
Awesome.
Right, so Coco is saying good news, flow status is healthy, 240 megabytes of data was replicated. Now let me check the Snowflake destination. Okay, let me quickly show you because it actually has showed us the final proof.
Can
Entire
you share
screen.
screen? Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing it. It actually dropped the moment I click share. So let me share again. I'd like to say thank you to everyone in the audience for bearing with us and these technical challenges. So here is the summary that Coco created, right? Schema procurement. These are all the tables replicated, number of rows, the size, and the other schema. Since we're out of time, I will not do the last thing that I wanted to show you, which is I actually wanted to ask Coco now connect to Oracle database and compare the row counts between the two, between the source tables and the target tables. Because obviously this is, again, as a data engineer working on CDC, this is one of the primary indicators whether the ingestion pipeline is healthy, right? We keep checking the row counts between source and destination, and actually Coco, again, can do it automatically for us. That's it. It's done. As you can see, it's working. The data is replicated. It took us a while, but it was a throughout very accurate process of setting everything up and verifying.
Firstly, thank you so much, Jakub, for walking us through this end-to-end flow from literally installing the connector, configuring it. I mean, Coco even gave us this, SQL snippets to run on the Oracle side to configure everything we need, and then coming to the Openflow side of things, configuring everything, and actually have the data created in your Snowflake database for you to sort of compare all of that. This was very exciting. Thanks, everybody in the audience, for bringing your great questions. I know some of these questions we were not able to get to because of the time restrictions, but we will definitely get to them offline. We will respond to you in the comments, tag you. We'll send you all the resources that you will need to get your questions answered as well. With that said, thanks, everybody. We will see you all again for next episode. But go check out the blog, quick start guide, and also play around with Coco. You can go use this Oracle connector for Openflow. All right. Thanks, Jacob, again.
Thank you so much. Thanks again for having me. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer.
Yes, spam Jakub on LinkedIn. That's the key takeaway. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.